Alright, back, man. We're back with the reactions, man. We're back. Today we got inside Sydney's most terrifying gang war.
Two crime families went at it, going blow for blow. After one had allegedly stolen drugs from the other, vicious attacks took place in broad daylight, leaving many seriously injured or deceased. The feud got so heated that even the mothers of those involved were not safe anymore. In the meantime, the families were still smuggling large quantities of drugs throughout the streets of Sydney. And here's probably the most fascinating part about this story. While all this took place, the leaders of both families were sat together inside a maximum security prison. How did they manage to orchestrate all this? This is the story of the Hamzi family versus the Alameddin family.
The Alameddin.
First, it's very important to know exactly what transpired before we get to where we are today. We will start off with the Hamzi family, also known as the Brother for Life gang. The leader of the Hamzi family was a man named Bassam Hamzi. He is the son of Lebanese immigrants Khalid and Lola Hamzi, who moved their family to Australia during the Lebanese Civil War in the 1970s. They had done so in the hopes of giving their family a better future. But once in Australia, especially Bassam got himself in serious trouble. In 1998, Bassam, who was 19 years old at the time, fatally shot 18-year-old Chris Toumaziz.
Didn't even make it to 21. Well, you have to, 21, you get to 18 or 23. You gotta celebrate their milestones. People don't be making it to that age.
After they had gotten into an argument in a Sydney nightclub, it led to Bassam getting sentenced to 21 years in prison, and that was the end of
21? Fucking hell.
this story.
21 years?
Well, at least that's what you would expect when someone gets 21 years in prison at such a young age. But Bassam's story absolutely did not stop there. In fact, it was just the beginning. Because from his jail cell in the Goulburn Supermax prison, Bassam went on to form the gang called Brothers for Life in 2007 after converting to radical Islam. Inside the Supermax prison, Bassam garnered followers who had converted as well. At one point, he had gotten so many followers in the prison that correctional officers agreed it was becoming too dangerous and decided to move Bassam to Lithgow prison. Once in Lithgow
prison, they transferred him. Fucking hell.
All he needed to run his operation outside the prison walls was the phone someone had smuggled into jail for him. None of the correctional officers had a clue what he was up to from his prison cell. But in 2008, Bassam's phone was found. Investigation into the phone gave some rather unexpected insights. It showed that Bassam had made over 19,000 calls, an average 460 phone calls a day from May the 1st to June 11th, 2008. Even further
400 phone calls a day. That's gotta be cap. I'm sorry, that's gotta be cap. That doesn't even make sense. 400 calls a day. Have time to do anything else. How do police not notice anything?
Investigation showed that during those calls, he sent instructions to his lieutenants outside of prison to smuggle massive amounts of drugs worth up to $250,000 per week, conduct kidnappings, and carry out drive-by shootings. One of those lieutenants on the outside was his cousin, Mohammed Hamzi, the appointed president of the Bankstone chapter, and by some seen as the co-founder of the Brothers for Life gang. Even though Mohammed carried out the title president, he did not do anything without requesting Bassam's approval first. Bassam may found himself behind bars, but he was still the man in charge. However, over time, the Brothers for Life gang grew, and Bassam started losing his power. To join the gang, one would have to buy a t-shirt that cost $70, so practically anyone could join. The men who joined the gang weren't necessarily familiar with Bassam, so they had little to no loyalty nor any incentive to listen to him and do as he said. Combine that with the fact that the gang started making more and more money to do whatever they wished, Bassam lost his grip. The emergence of a new chapter in Blacktown caused an even greater loss of power. This chapter was led by Blacktown president Basim Hijazi and his right-hand man Yeye Amoud. Whereas the Bankstone chapter were mainly men of Lebanese descent, the Blacktown chapter featured men of mainly Afghan descent. Despite belonging to the same gang, internal disputes between the two chapters were starting to occur, and in October 2012, it led to the first of many attacks against each other. Blacktown president Basim and his right-hand man Yeye Amoud were lured to a location where they were sprayed with bullets while sat in their car. Yeye lost his life then and there. Bankstone chapter president Mohammed Hamzi was directly involved in this shooting. Right after the incident, Basim decided to flee the country and left to Lebanon. He was never heard of again.
Oh,
This,
raw.
however, did not mean that the feud between the Bankstone and the Blacktown chapter was
My man did a body. My man caught a body. Got out that bitch. He's not playing, first.
now over. Attacks would continue to go on back and forth. Another notable attack took place a year later in Reevesby Heights on the 29th of October 2013, just past midnight. Bankstone president Mohammed Hamzi sat in a garage with Mahmoud Hamzi and a man called Omar. Without them noticing, a white Nissan Tider parked further down the street. Two people got out of the car and calmly walked towards the garage. Once in range, they both started firing off multiple shots. A third person that stayed inside the car could be seen picking the two others up and fleeing the scene. According to the police, the intended target was Mohammed Hamzi, as revenge for the attack on Basim and Yeye, but the shooters managed to hit everyone except him. Mahmoud Hamzi lost his life on the scene, and Omar was badly injured.
Bro.
The three suspects, one of which was a woman called Amanda Crow, was later arrested. They all had ties to
generate sound.
the Brothers for Life Blacktown chapter.
Yeah. What's that, chat?
Mohammed luckily survived this brazen attack and was arrested not much later for his involvement in the shooting of Basim and Yeye Ahmoud. NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing voiced his concerns about the vicious attacks going back and forth and the effect it had on the community. He urged everyone in the community to cooperate in their investigation by sharing any piece of information they had, allowing police to get the suspects off the streets and putting a halt to the violence, though that would prove to be way harder than expected. On the 11th of December 2014, there was a shooting yet again. This time, the victim was Bassam's mother, Lola.
Oh, yo, I can't lie. Killing a man's mum is KO.
Shooter opened
We gonna be forever. Fuck that.
fire on her front door while she stood behind it. She was struck once in the stomach, but luckily survived the attack.
Oh, she survived. But still, now we gonna be forever. You shot my mum? Cooked.
Oddly enough, Lola Hamzi was the second female family member to be shot through the front door of a house, because early on the 9th of March 2013, Bilal Hamzi's mother, Maha, which is in turn Bassam's aunt, was shot 8 times in the leg. She luckily survived as well. The intended target was Bilal, because he had tried to extort someone's mother for $5,000. Instead of him opening the door, his mother did, and she became the target. But more on Bilal later, whose last name is written differently, as you may have noticed. Different branches of the family use different variations of the surname. By the end of 2014, after several years of on and off chaos and destruction, it seemed as if the end had come for the Brothers for Life gang, after a successful police operation saw many members get arrested. Most of the key members either passed away or were put behind bars. I'd like to think this is the final nail in the coffin, NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing said after all the arrests. More than 300 charges have been laid against 21 members, putting them all away for a very long time. Bassam, who was still jailed, saw his gang crumbling down.
Yeah, like,
It went quiet for 2 years, but the end was nowhere near. In fact, it would only get worse, far worse. Because besides the Hamzi family, there was another notorious crime family active in Sydney, Australia, named the Alamedines. One of the leaders of the Alamedine family was also incarcerated, just like Bassam. Talal Alamedine was sentenced to 17 years in jail for supplying the firearm used in the fatal attack on police accountant Curtis Cheng that occurred in 2015 at the NSW Police's
He didn't even do the killing. He got 17 just for supplying the gun.
Parramatta headquarters. The attack was labelled a terrorist attack and caused a shock throughout Australia. Some members of the Alamedine family were involved in about everything illegal, just like the Hamzi family. This in turn made them rivals of each other in the streets of Sydney. There are many stories told about what the exact reason for the feud was. Some say the members of the Alamedine ripped off a drug shipment for the Hamzi family back in 2013. Some say it simply began over claiming turf in Sydney to sell their drugs on. Whatever the exact reason may be, it would become one, if not the most
Oh shit, he slipped.
Whatever the exact reason may be, it would become one, if not the most hectic feud Australia has ever seen. In April 2016, the first of many attacks linked to this feud occurred. Safwan Charbaji, a relative of Alameddin Associates, was taken out. Just 20 days later, Wali Ahmad was taken out. Wali in turn was an associate of the Hamzi family. Remember NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing saying, "I'd like to think this is the final nail in the coffin," after all the arrests back in 2014? It seemed as if the Hamzi family was back in the game again. And that resurgence could have been fully orchestrated by none other than Bassam. He reached the national news again in October 2016 when prison staff found yet another phone that could be linked to him. It was a 7-centimeter long phone hidden in a book in a library of the Goulburn Supermax prison, where he was transferred to back after his brief stay in Lithgow prison. By then, Bassam was labelled as an extreme high-risk inmate for a while already, due to his radical religious beliefs and followers. So, it was pretty embarrassing for the prison staff to learn that he had access to a phone. This is absolutely unacceptable, and we will be investigating this incident fully using our top security operations team from the Security and Intelligence Unit. NSW Corrective Services Commissioner Peter Severin said, "Well, so much for the investigative efforts, because less than 2 weeks later, the same extreme high-risk inmate was caught with yet another phone. It was during an unannounced raid in his cell that Bassam tried to flush the phone through the toilet, but prison staff had cut off the water to his cell already in anticipation of this. Bassam was
Bro, they cut off his water just to search his cell.
caught off guard and got busted. Investigation into the phone once again showed that he was still the leader of the Brothers for Life gang. Alameddin leader Talal and Bassam were both incarcerated in the Goulburn Supermax prison. With tensions between the two families rising in the cities of Sydney, it was no surprise that tensions between those two also rose inside the prison. In October 2018, their paths crossed, which led to a brawl all caught on camera. It allegedly started
Oh shit. Oh shit. Chat is about to go
off as an animated discussion about the balance of power inside the prison. Then, CCTV footage showed Talal grabbing Bassam and connecting all of his punches. Bassam did not stand a chance. It took several prison guards to stop the fight. NSW police immediately feared for retaliation of both families outside the prison walls, but it remained relatively calm. However, on the 14th of October 2020, Shaylin Zreka, an associate of the Alameddins, got beaten up by members of the Hamzi family. After 2 years of relative silence, the feud got heated again. 3 days later, several bullets were fired at Ibrahim Hamzi's home. As retaliation for that attack, Rafat Alameddin's home was shot up a day later on the 18th of October.
Straight get back. Fuck is you? Are you dumb? You shot up my house next day. Same night. I'm shooting your shit here. Fuck you talking about?
That's how fast it could go in this feud. One did this, the other immediately did that. It went on, tit for tat. Just a day after Rafat's home was shot up, the Alameddins were about to deliver a big blow to the Hamzi family. On the 19th of October 2020, early in the morning, at around 7:30, Majid left his house by foot to go on a walk. What he did not know was that 2 hours earlier, 2 men parked their vehicles in front of his home. They were still sat in the car and had a mission to fulfill. Right as Majid left his home and started walking down the street, 2 armed men got out of the vehicle and chased him. Once close enough, they started firing shots, some of them hitting Majid. They ran back to their car, despite Majid not being down yet, got in the car and fled the scene. CCTV footage showed Majid running while wounded, glancing over his shoulder, but after 100 meters, he fell to the ground. An ambulance crew tried their best to keep him alive, but Majid succumbed to his injuries. Just like that, Majid Hamzi, Bassam's younger brother, got his life taken. When asked about the incident, Bassam was upset, but gave a calm and simple answer. "I accept it as the will of God." However, Bankstown Police Area Commander Darren Sly said that he was very, very worried about potential repercussions following this shooting. And he wasn't wrong. After the attack on Majid, the feud went totally wild. There almost wasn't a week that went by without a fight, shooting, cars being shot at, houses, and of course people. The two groups constantly became more violent and reckless, which also led to innocent civilians becoming the victims. It was only a matter
See, when you start cracking down on that, start doing shootings and shit, like civilians are getting hit, that's when police take it to a whole nother. Kill each other, you lot can kill each other all day, but see, that's got nothing to, just because they were wrong place, wrong time. Look.
Of time before it would be fatal. That happened on the 30th of January 2021, when an innocent man called Mustafa was fatally struck. He had nothing to do with any crime and was mistaken for a member of the Hamzi family. This feud could truly pop off anywhere, anytime, even on an airport. On the 6th of February 2021, it was a day like any other at the Berliner Byron Gateway Airport, with people coming and going. Two members of the Alamedins were stood at a conveyor belt, waiting for their luggage to arrive. A Hamzi associate spotted them and walked up to them, and a brawl immediately ensued. Punches flew left and right, all while
Oh shit! No, they gave
waiting.
it no. I can't lie. Bro was not doing no chattings. As soon as he tried, yeah, just off the
for their
flat.
luggage to
What are you
arrive.
talking
A Hamzi associate spotted them and walked up to them, and a brawl
Walk on,
immediately
walk on.
ensued.
about? Yo, mink, bruh,
Punches flew
mink,
left
mink.
and right,
You know, first.
all while innocent bystanders quickly had to grab their belongings and get out of the way. A mother could be seen grabbing her daughter to quickly get out of the situation. A woman tried to intervene, but that did not help. Hamzi family member Hassan Amoun came flying in, and not much later, a fifth man also joined the fight. All bystanders could do was to keep a safe distance and see it all unfold. It eventually took a lone security guard to put an end to the fight. Police once again immediately feared that repercussions would follow, and looking back, it was safe to say they were not wrong. This fight kicked the feud up a notch, as if it already wasn't violent enough. The next victim would be Bilal Hamzi. Bilal had known for months that there was a price on his head. Even the NSW police told him about it and suggested him to keep a low profile for a while. Rumors in the underworld said it was the Alamedins who wanted him gone and put a price of $750,000 on his head.
Huh? 750,000. No, I don't think you don't understand how much money that is. 700k on my head. I'm not even linking my cousins. Wallahi, love. Don't shout me.
Some even suggesting it was $1 million.
Niggas backdoor you for less. Niggas will backdoor you for 2 bands for 750k. I might shoot myself and just tell them to transfer it to me in heaven. Fuck.
Rumors one would take pretty serious, you'd think, right? Not for Bilal. Instead of fleeing the country or lying low in an entirely different part of Australia, Bilal moved into
New season, new
L ads, but see if you get ads on my video, watch them please.
an apartment right in the middle of Sydney's central business district, an area full of densely concentrated skyscrapers, businesses, people, plenty of cameras, and a lot of police. All those things gave Bilal a sense of security and safety, and showed his enemies that he wasn't weak nor scared by fleeing the country. With so many people, cameras and police, there was no chance someone would attempt to hit on his life, right? Well, he was wrong.
No one cares about, but not like you shoot at my mum. You're gonna need God to take me. Like you're gonna need God to come and stop me. I don't give a fuck about no police. Like, if you do a hit correctly, police will even have time to react before you out that. You feel me? Like,
Very wrong. On the 17th of June 2021, Bilal walked down the street after leaving a restaurant. He casually passed the backside of an Audi that was standing still, not having a clue what was about to happen. Right as Bilal passed the car, someone sitting in the passenger side called him, and as soon as he turned around, the person fired off 4 bullets. Bilal was seen flailing on the ground. The Audi then made a U-turn, came back, and fired off several shots once again to finish the job. This time, Bilal wasn't moving anymore. It was another prime example that these guys truly did not care about anything. Came back and fired off several. Bilal was
them
seen
niggas hit Bilal, however you want to say it, like RP folks. Them niggas hit folk, drove a bit, said nah, I still see him moving. They looking in the rear view mirror, bro. They say nah, I still see him moving, man. Spin that bitch back. They spun that bitch back, came back all the way to where he was. They on the floor, and hang. Yeah, long day, cook.
flailing on the ground.
That's all I can say.
The Audi then made a U-turn, came back, and fired off several shots once again to finish the job.
Hang.
This time, Bilal wasn't moving anymore.
Yeah, cooked.
It was another prime example that these guys truly did not care about anything anymore. Everything was justified. Because just like that, on a Thursday night, in one of Sydney's most crowded areas, Bilal was taken out. He wasn't as safe as he thought he would be. The Hamzi family were dealt yet another blow a few months later. This time, it was on the 20th of October 2021. Salim Hamza and his father Tawfiq left their house to get in their truck, unaware of 2 people waiting for them a few meters down the street. All of a sudden, an armed man got out of the vehicle and ran towards the truck of Salim and his father. The man ran so fast that while firing his first shots into the car, he slipped. He quickly got up and did what he came for. From close range, he fired off several shots, striking Salim and Tufik. Salim allegedly played a role in the Hamzi gang as he was under investigation for the shooting of an Alameddin associate, Shadi Kanj, 2
I knew that karma gonna come back for you. Anything in this world, or karma finna come back for you. Oh, good, you finna get good back. Even if it don't look like that, you might get bad in one aspect of life and good in another. You might have a shit, like, you might have no money, but you got extremely well health. Have it all. For me, but
months earlier. Father Tufik, on the other hand, was an innocent man that had nothing to do with the feud and tried to get his son back on the right track. Once again, a prime example of the ruthlessness of this feud. The Alameddin family allegedly was not done yet and kept ordering more and more attacks in an attempt to take out the entire Hamzi family for good. They attacked several Hamzi associates while the Hamzis managed to attack some of theirs, but the Alameddins were definitely getting the overhand in the feud. Some say that the following attack was the final one that gave them the victory, despite how harsh that may sound. This time, it was another brother of Bassam called Ghassan Amun. Remember? The same man involved in the airport brawl about 11 months ago. On the 6th of January 2022, a grey Mini Cooper was driving through South Wentworthville. They eventually drove up to Ghassan, who was sat in his BMW. Two men got out of the Mini Cooper.
You niggas doing drills in Mini Coopers, gang. Oh my god.
On the 6th
I ain't never heard of a nigga doing a drill in a Mini Cooper.
of January 2022, a grey Mini Cooper was driving through South Wentworthville. They eventually drove up to Ghassan, who was sat in his BMW. Two men got out of the Mini Cooper, fired off several shots into Ghassan, and fled the scene. Ghassan was treated by paramedics on the scene, but eventually succumbed to his injuries. The grey Mini Cooper was later set fire in a nearby street and eventually burned out for the most part. As of now, many lives have been lost to the Hamzi versus Alameddin feud. Over
Oh, yo, look at them bodies.
10 at least. There have been so many attacks back and forth that I could not even begin to list them all. These were the most notable ones. Many members have fallen on both sides, and even more have been incarcerated and are looking to spend long sentences in prison. Bassam Hamzi, the originator of it all, is still serving time in Goulburn Supermax prison. He even got additional time due to all he orchestrated while behind bars. Bassam even involved his lawyer Martin Churchill in his drug ring, who also got sentenced to spend time in jail. After all that has happened, it could be said that the
These lawyers could be corrupt as fuck, gang.
Alameddin family have most likely come out on top. But the question is, at what cost? If you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, a comment sharing your thoughts, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already.
Man. Hang.